Welcome to the Mattel Retro unboxing. Full pack Wave 1 is what they're calling it, although you'll know we've had several so far, and it is great that they've brought back this series. Hopefully we'll get lots more. I've just scored open the top. Let's pop it open and see what's inside. It's a fantastic, fantastic looking box. That's the back of it. And let's see what they look like inside, shall we? So we'll pop open the top. And there they are, fresh out of the box, brand new. I was one of the last to get these, I think. I was slightly concerned they weren't going to arrive, but here we are. And there's Cowboy Bob Orton right there. And these cards are great. I mean, for those of us who collected the Hasbros back in the day, it really takes you back to that time. And this has got to be the figure I wanted the most. Always wanted one of these as a kid in the Hasbro set, and he's going to go straight into my collection with the Hasbros. Looks pretty good. The cards are fun. They take you back to a different time. The back, I've got the actions there like the old ones. There's the back of Bob Orton. I should show you that too. There's the card. It's even got the old cutout lines around there if you want to save that. Tells you what actions they do. And this one is Mr. T. He's not someone I thought I'd get, I'll be honest. When I was a kid, he was not somebody you ever thought you'd get a WWE or WWF figure, or certainly not Hasbro style, with the spin in the full. Probably not to be pronounced like me, but I think you get the idea. And actually, do you know what? I think this is a really interesting one. Because part of you thinks, well, we've had a Piper before, but actually, the big problem as a kid was that the Hasbro one's got that solid kilt. It's got his t-shirt on as well. So to get one of these where you can actually have him in his wrestling gear is pretty cool. And there he's got his action. I like this action that they've introduced with the Retros. It's slightly different to the Hasbros, but I do like that. I like the fact that you can, they are slightly different. You can have that kick action. Right, so here is the old task. Do you get a knife and carefully score round them and save your cards, which is what I used to do to some. I used to use them when I was a kid as sort of wallpaper. I'd have them around the top of my room, although I got rid of my Hasbro cards years ago, foolishly. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to use the old finger method, straight in, still try and see if we can preserve as much of the card as we can. Still feels good doing that after all these years. There's the old bubble. And there he is. My arms are pretty loose, but you know what? He feels a bit sturdier than the other Hasbro. Sorry, the other Mattels. One of my problems with the Mattels was how lightweight they were compared to the old Hasbro figures. He's pretty good. He's got a nice plastic, but still a soft coat. Great mic there. He's got the action. The action's a bit. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, that's in line. The old Hasbros, it wasn't long before the action went, or it never quite worked properly. Yeah, I think that's definitely my favourite. It's got a little mark on there, hasn't it? Never mind. That's all part of the fun. My Hasbro's all scratched up, and there's no such thing as mint in my house, unfortunately. But still, let's see about Piper and his kilt. I think the introduction of this WrestleMania 1 set is interesting. I don't know how much interest there would have been from people who were sort of on the fence about them, because you've already got a Piper. A Bob Orton one, I'll be honest, I don't know that everyone was clamouring for that, but I like the idea of it if it means we're going to get more from across the generations as the years go on. And that's Piper. There he is. Well, it's not too bad in terms of his 1980s quite round face. Yeah, well, we'll take that. Like the boots, and there's the kick action. Let's see if we can take this kilt off then. Pop that off. Does he stand up though? Oh, I'm not sure this leg's going to stay. Oh, there's your first mistake. So that one's supposed to click into place so he can stand up. He's got a spasm leg. He's got a cramp. Oh, can I? Oh, there we go. I was on a hair trigger that. There we go. I'm pretty pleased with those. I think they're pretty good. They're exactly what I wanted. Certainly, for me, they're great. For a collector who loves Hasbros, to have these characters, you've got 3 new characters, you've got a really great Piper. For me, that's just what I would have wanted. I don't know necessarily, oh, I'm making a right mess of this one over here. I'm not sure whether everybody else would have necessarily clamoured for a Bob Orton figure. I think it's quite a good addition, especially as he's got his cast. Let's see whether the hat comes off. That's a real test. Oh, no. Well, it's stuck on, part of his head. I suppose, again, that's in keeping. Slightly disappointing, that. Does that really not come off at all? About to rip his head off here. Oh, that's a bit disappointing. Yeah, that's not the best design. I think they could have updated that. It is interesting how they use, they reuse body parts. So most of the figures, you've seen the body parts before. But again, they did that with the Hasbros. How many times did you notice the crush demolition spikes on Rick Steiner's legs? I think in some ways that's quite a nice touch that they reuse the body parts. It's quite nice that in some ways his hat is stuck on, a bit like the old Undertaker figure, but I think a bit disappointing as well. I think that could be one of the upgrades, like you've got the mechanism of the leg. So let's do Mr. T. And this, I think, is a really great addition. I think this has got to be, along with Mean Gene, the draw for most people to buy this set, I think. There are other people I would like more than these 4, but I hope that the pickup with these, the take-up for these, and the way they've sold them means that people will want to buy them. And there's the man himself. Good old Texas Tornado Tatanka style spin. Nice for an airplane spin. Again, they're pretty lightweight, that. There's not much to these figures, but they are just fun. If you like the old Hasbros, I don't see how you've got any complaints, to be honest. It's just fantastic that they've made them again and brought them back for us. I think that's a pretty decent set, actually, and I think that is a really interesting way of selling them, and I hope there's more. I don't know whether I necessarily need a WrestleMania 2-pack. I think it would be great if they just canvassed opinion, picked some of the names out there that people really want and made them. I think we'd all like an NWO set, wouldn't we? For me, it's Haku and Barbarian. They're the people I really want, although actually they're being made by other people now. But still, I think it's a great start to bringing the retros back, and let's hope things continue from here.